If you want to take your life to the next level, or if you lack motivation right now, in this video, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share top 3 things that I learned from Tony Robbins that truly transformed my life. Now, the first introduction to Tony Robbins that I had was at the seminar called UPW, Unleash the Power Within. And after the seminar, a number of things happened. Like I went to the best business school in the world and I got my MBA. I got into one of the top tech companies in the world, and I was promoted multiple times in that company. I lost 40 pounds. And more importantly, I got motivated to do so many different things, including this YouTube channel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share the top 3 things, and again, I drill down into my experience to figure out what were the 3 things that I learned from Tony that were truly transformational. And what I wanted to do is I wanted to share those with you so that you can take them and implement them with your personal goals, business goals, career goals, etc. This is Ivan Lessa with MBAthink.com. Let's go. Now, before I forget, if you're new to this channel, consider subscribing. I talk a lot about different things around finding your dream job, growing your career, and mastering your life. Now, the first thing that Tony talks about is the state. Now, you might have heard this term before. It's what Tony calls the peak state. And if you watch his videos, you might be familiar with that concept. But for those people that are not familiar with this concept, let me explain what this is and giving you an example. So I had a presentation, so it was almost the same presentation on Monday and on Tuesday. And on Monday, I woke up and everything is smooth. My talk track is well defined, and I just go out there and I present like it's my best presentation ever. And then the next day, on Tuesday, I do exact same presentation and I just couldn't put 2 words together. Now, what is the difference? Well, the difference is the state I was in. And the state that I was in, on Monday, I had a great conversation with multiple coworkers. I started my day, on a positive note. Everything was just great, and up until the presentation that put me into that peak state that allowed me to then go out there and perform like it was the best day ever. And then on Tuesday, maybe I spilled coffee, maybe, I had a bad conversation with somebody, but I wasn't in that same state. And as a result, I didn't perform as well. So there's multiple ways that you can get into that peak state. And again, those came from Tony Robbins, but the main one that he teaches is what's called priming. And he does priming in his seminars, but you can also do it on your own. What you have to do is you just Google Tony Robbins priming and you'll get an audio recording of that. And all it is, it's a guided meditation. And you do that, and Tony does it every morning, where he guides you through the thought process to be grateful for what you have, to be positive, to generate energy, to just think about the positive moments that put you into that peak state to start the day so that you can look at things from a different lens, from a positive lens, and everything else is going to flow naturally. So being in a peak state is super important, and that's the secret number 1. Now, secret number 2 is emotion is caused by motion. Now, what does that mean? Well, think about it this way. Have you ever been in a situation where you're just sitting, in your house, apartment, and you just don't feel like going to the gym? And you wait for that perfect moment when you actually do want to go to the gym, and it just never comes. Well, the reality is that you have to go to the gym for the emotion to kick in and to get motivated. It comes in different examples too. It's like, I'm gonna wait for that peak state to come in before I'm gonna do this next project. And then what happens is we start procrastinating, at least I do. I start procrastinating and then nothing ever happens. And what you have to do instead is you have to start doing stuff, you have to take action, and then the emotion will kick in as a result. And it's really important. Don't wait for that peak state to happen to you. Create that peak state by motion. Now, for me, as an example, I always go out for a run. And it doesn't matter what happened before the run, as long as I go for a run, a lot of things mentally in my mind change. And I get great ideas, I become more motivated, I stop procrastinating, and I take action right after that run. So it's really important to start with motion to generate that emotion. Now, the third thing, and I think that's the probably most important thing that I got from Tony, and that is that more value generates more money and wealth. Now, it's an interesting concept. And I was also listening to Jim Rohn, his audiobooks, or back then it was cassettes. And Jim Rohn was a self-development speaker, business philosopher. And it turns out that he was also a mentor of Tony Robbins. Tony Robbins worked for Jim Rohn. And Jim Rohn says exactly the same thing, that if you want to make more money, if you want to become wealthy, you have to figure out how to bring more value to the market. Now, the key thing here is that more value to the market. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, think about it this way. You have somebody who's making minimum wage, and then you have somebody who is a CEO of a major corporation. And both of them, let's just say, work the same amount of time, and somebody makes minimum wage, but somebody makes millions of dollars. Now, both of them are great people, and they are as equally valuable to family, friends, and everybody they know, because they're good people. However, they make different amount of money. They have different income. Now, why is that? Because they figured out a way to bring more value to the market, to the people, to the company, to the shareholders. And as a result, they become more valuable and they make more money. And so the way that Jim Rohn talks about it is it possible for the same amount of time that you spend today working or working on your business, is it possible for the same amount of time make twice more money, 3 times more money, 10 times more money? And the answer is yes. And the way to do that is by bringing more value to the people. So that was the 3 secrets that have truly transformed my life. And I hope that you can take them, and I hope that they were useful to you and you can start implementing them in your life. Now, if that stuff resonated with you, give me a like and leave a comment in the comment section below and say yes. That way I'll know that this content is something that is useful to you, and that is really the most important thing to me, that this stuff makes impact, and that's why I have this YouTube channel. So with that, this was Ivan Lessa with MBAthink.com. I really appreciate your time, and if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely do so, and I hope to see you in the next video.